Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Mountain Murders.
I'm Heather.
And I'm Dylan.
Well, I am so excited about the case we're going to talk about.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. We've been talking about this for a while.
Yeah, we've been discussing this case for several months.
Yeah.
And finally had an opportunity to put it all together. But it's a really great case. I think you guys are going to be pleased.
Yes, we'll have to get in our Mountain Murders exclusive Wayback Machine.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. But we like to do that here, don't we?
Yeah, we did just drop a really fantastic episode on Patreon. So if you're not a patron, for as little as $1 a month, you can sign up and get access to some exclusive content. Dylan, you have a story on a fella named Master Rick.
Yes, and anyone local.
Hometown crime story. So we're going to talk about that over on Patreon. If you're curious, go sign up. It's $3 a month to get access to these extra podcast episodes. And hey, if you don't like it, you can always cancel.
Yeah. If you give it you can try it out and you can untry it out at your leisure. But we think it's worth a couple of bucks. There's a lot. Master Rick guys, any locals will be like, oh my God, that was some crazy shit. Because that was a crazy story in the sleepy little town we live in. And then a couple other on the edge of the dark web, we may take you with that crazy ass. I can't even describe it.
Yeah,
right.
It's a wild tale for sure.
Yes.
Well, one thing that has kind of come up in the last couple of days that I think is funny is we've got, I don't know if I want to call them trolls, but we've had a couple of people who've been reaching out. One person was offended with the Crystal Howell case because we used the word stripper poles.
Yeah, the shooting someone in the face didn't offend her at all.
Yeah, that was her only complaint about the story is they're dance poles. They're not stripper poles.
Should have been a dance pole.
And it was very insulting. She's a stripper. She's very happy with her life and her job. Yeah. She's just like rambling. So she's sending me all these messages and I'm just like, I'm sorry, you're not going to police my language?
No. But see, no, well, I remember that day you texted me and you were like, have we really come this far?
Yeah.
Because when you said stripper pole, you didn't mean it disparagingly in any manner.
No.
Because, you're talking about, the poor stripper lady who could make $1,000 a night on said pole. It's just a stripper pole, guys. Everybody knows, I've not been to many everything with a dance pole.
Hey, and one of our first dates was what, Dylan?
We didn't go to the strip club.
No.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. It was a burlesque show.
Yeah, and who was performing? Who produced the show?
My wife.
Yeah, so
I went to your burlesque show.
Kind of a classy way, your wife's been a stripper, right?
Yes. Hey, it's the same thing.
It is basically the same thing.
Except with burlesque, you take your clothes off where people don't normally take their clothes off.
Oh, okay.
No, because you had shows everywhere and they were fun. And, there you are, entertaining. That's,
Right, but it's striptease.
Right.
Which is, the word stripper is striptease, and that's where Anyway, she was all like, this is a dance pole, and that's so offensive. And I'm like, I've been a stripper. And anyway, she goes on and on. I'm going to tell people not to listen to your podcast, whatever, which I think is funny, because I'm like, you can't troll me, because I'm like the biggest troll of all.
Wait, did Karen write us this?
Probably.
She wanted to talk to management?
Yeah, she did. I am the manager, basically, is my response.
I is the proprietor.
I'm typing this right now in my pasties, bitch. Anywho.
I'm peddling my wares.
So that was interesting. And then we had a review that was funny. It was like a negative review on Apple. And it was like, not for me, or not a fan, too much bullshitting.
Too much bullshitting.
And I'm like, well, I hope you don't know us in real life, because that's all we do is bullshit. That's like 130% of our day.
Yeah, well, I wake up bullshitting. We go to sleep bullshitting.
We bullshit so much that it gets on our kids' nerves.
Yeah. They're like, can you guys not?
Yeah, can you guys just shut up? Because that's all we do.
Yeah, so from here out, we'll say BSing, unless we're going to set a record for bullshit.
Okay, well, we bullshit a lot. So I guess the takeaway from this, Heather's hot take, is that, one, I'm not going to cater to people who are offended.
No.
Because it's my podcast, and I'll say what I want.
You don't get to say what I mean by something either. You know what I mean?
And just because you interpret I don't know.
You can't take that out of context.
Being so fucking sensitive, basically.
Now, if you were like those mangy women on the, if you said a bunch of horrible stuff about strippers, and it still wouldn't be about the stripper pole. No. Stupid.
Yeah, that was really ridiculous. And if you come to me with like a legit complaint, I will take you seriously. But when it's something that's just, you're upset because I used a word to describe something that you don't like, no.
No, homie, don't play that.
And if you don't like podcasts where they bullshit, well then that's like almost every that is the essence of podcasting, is you get together and you talk, right?
Right. And
okay, so we're going to keep doing that.
But we all know that we keep it typically short, maybe not this time. And then we dive right into what everybody's here for. What is everybody here for? The details.
The Dylan makes an ass out of himself on an episode. I'm just kidding.
No, that's what you're describing, because you're going to give them the details. We actually did get
some positive feedback. Someone said that they love, that I can't contain Dylan, they love him, and that I do a good job of reeling him in, but that I just need to let the man be, essentially, basically.
Let me spread my wings, honey. And just let me fly. I'm ready.
You're a beautiful butterfly.
I'm ready.
I'm going to put the net down. I'm going to let you soar tonight. Okay, you ready?
Yes. Okay, guys, here we go. This could really get stupid.
Documented as America's first serial killers.
Okay.
The Hart Brothers were outlaws, marauders.
That's okay. Marauders.
We'll get that out.
It's a marauder.
Pirates and murderers.
Yes, highwaymen and river pirates. Ooh.
Throughout the frontier and among the Appalachians, the name of the Harps spread and were considered to be the worst thing you could possibly encounter. This is the kind of situation that if you're out on the farm working by your cabin, mending a fence, and your neighbor runs up and says, the Harps are coming,
you're probably going to hide.
You want to hide, you're going to board the house up, or you're going to get your family and you're going to leave.
Right.
Because these people are fucking scary.
And this is the frontier. There's nobody to help you. It's a dog-eat-dog world. And I was thinking about when we were talking about doing this story finally. Wouldn't you imagine in that dog-eat-dog world environment of the frontier in the Wild West, no help, middle of nowhere, everybody's got guns.
Right.
Psychopaths and sociopaths and just the cruelest people would rise to the top in this environment. Kind of float to the top,
well,
right?
I guess they did.
Alphas, if you will.
Right. And I suppose they did. And that's pretty much the premise of every Western movie.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Clint Eastwood wouldn't have had a job in the 70s.
No.
The 60s and 70s.
No one else could chew on a cigar like him.
Right.
Okay. But so you got the baddest of the bad, because everybody's a hard ass. Even the little kids and families and everybody, because there's homesteading, taking care of themselves every day. These guys are just the baddest of the bad and alphas in a very hard environment.
I feel like we should cue up the Reverend Horton Heat, the baddest of the bad song. Okay, anyway.
I could do the good, the bad, the ugly whistle.
Well, here we go.
Okay.
Joshua Harper was born sometime around 1748, either in Scotland or in Orange County, North Carolina. Not much is known of his early years. William Harper was born sometime around 1750, again, either in Scotland or in Orange County, North Carolina. Few records exist from this time period in North Carolina, so many facts about the brothers come from legends or what little can be pieced together.
People that knew them, maybe lived
through
close.
Some documentation, right. But again, not a lot of record keeping at this time. The brothers are believed to have been born probably in Orange County, North Carolina. Though some accounts say that the brothers are actually cousins, that they immigrated from Scotland sometime around 1759 or 1760. So they would have been small children. Like many Scottish settlers of the time, they were considered Tories and loyalists to the crown.
Okay, so when the Revolutionary War is cranking up, right? And oh man, could you imagine?
People throwing tea in the harbor and shit.
Yeah, but then you got these little pockets of people who are still like, oh, King George is cool. He's your king. Recognize the king. Oh, I'm just kidding.
Right.
But yeah, they're all about staying with the British, and they're sneaking around, spying on the colonial partners and all that stuff. Some crazy stuff went on back then, I bet.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and refer to these guys as the Harps because that's what they become known as.
Right.
But they're born Harper, and we'll get into that later. Now, it is believed that the Harps had family who served in Tory militias before the American Revolution. When the real war began, the Harps' father tried to join the Patriot forces, only to be denied because they had this really heavy association with British loyalists. The Harper family was believed to have been treated hostilely by neighbors. You know, their neighbors were patriots. And if you were a loyalist to the crown, they would treat you like shit.
Well, yeah, because you're going to rat me out.
You. They may burn your crops, kill your livestock. They're going to try to run you out of town. They don't want you around.
Because you're the enemy.
You're a traitor. They don't, you know, they're looking at you like you're a traitor. This is our land. This is a new country. You know, they don't like you. The Harper family they were treated pretty badly. And some theorize that this persecution may have sparked a desire for revenge in these young boys. Now, according to historians, the Hart family lived in constant fear because of the way the neighbors treated them. They lived in isolation. They trusted each other. They had this us against the world kind of mentality.
Wow.
We have to rely on each other.
So that's how these boys grew up in this environment. Wow.
One day, the brothers had been out and about. They returned home and found a Patriot troop at their house. Their parents were being held by the Patriots and being told that they had to leave their property.
Okay.
Basically, it's almost like they're under arrest or something. And so the boys find the scene. They're freaking out. They've got our parents. They decide to hide because they don't know what's coming down the pipeline.
That's probably a good move.
The boys watch their parents as nooses are slipped over their necks and hung right in front of them.
Oh, no.
The two boys, 12 and 13, were hiding, and then they basically run away from home after having watched their parents.
Yeah, and they're powerless to stop it.
Be killed.
Right.
The boys rely on each other for about a year or so, and then they are taken in by the Chickamauga tribe.
I'm not familiar with the Chickamauguans. Is that right?
The Chickamauga tribe?
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so Big Harp, as he's going to be known later, was about 6 feet tall. He's well built, has a really bad temperament.
Sounds like a lovely guy.
Big, bad, mean as hell.
So I guess 6 foot in the Western times was pretty tall, right?
Well, this isn't really Western times, babe. They're in North Carolina, and this is the 1700s.
Well, no, I'm sorry, not Western times, but back in those days, weren't people shorter?
Well, yeah.
Okay, so 6 foot's like 6'3" now, you reckon?
And his brother, Lil Harp, as they call him, was the exact opposite. He was shorter, he was a lot smarter, had a more calm temperament. Big was like the bulldog, and Little was more sly like a fox. Oh,
so they're like yin and yang.
Now, he was born Joshua Harper, but some people call him Micajah Harp, was the name he went by, Micajah Harp. And he really loved a tomahawk. Now, again, they were taken in by the Chickamauga tribe. They were raised by these people from the age of 12 and 13 onward. They became really familiar with a lot of the Indian ways. Survival, almost like survivalists. They were trained and taught. Micajah, or Big Harp, really loved the tomahawk. It became his weapon of choice. Always had a tomahawk on him.
Man, now that's crazy that no one else tried to take those boys in. I guess they just kind of ran off.
Yeah, they ran off, and it was about a year that they were kind of
took care of
relying
themselves
on each other on their own.
Okay, yeah, so
squatting and staying where they could, and finding food where they could, stealing. That
was common amongst Indian tribes to take. It's like the white society would throw these people out, or away in a way, and they would all, take them in, treat them very good.
In April or May of 1775, the brothers left North Carolina for Virginia, where they were seeking out some overseer jobs on a slave plantation. It was during